All right. I'm still recording. Okay. So. Everybody have a good evening last night? Good. Yesterday didn't wear you out too much? I'll get my microphone on. We'll get started. You're going to have to mask up because I've got some stuff I got to pass out. I hope we get all the stuff passed in. The little piece of paper that I'm, oh, is it not picking me up? How about that? Is it picking me up now? Okay. The little piece of paper I am passing out now has your codes on it. Okay. I suggest you put it in a safe place, like in your homework folder, like Pocket or something, so that you don't lose it. Does that make sense? Has your passcodes on it. Diana, you're over here, right? I'm going to butcher this name. I am so sorry. Montserrat? Montserrat? Can you take that down and tell me? Montserrat? I'm sorry, you may have to correct me several times before I get it down in my brain. Montserrat. Finley. Eduardo? Oh. No, it's not. I want to get it right. Take your mask down and say it to me again. Eduardo. Am I close? I'm a failure. Elijah? Yeah. And Ezra's not here. Maya. Peyton Holloway. Kaylin. Adam. Are you Adam? I'm going to mess up too. Because I've been told your pronunciation two different ways and I'm never going to remember it. How many times you pronounce Sester? Say it again. Sester. Well, I've been told to say it two different ways. I got to remember. I wrote it down somewhere that hopefully I can remember to say it correctly. Please don't hesitate to correct me on it, because I would like to say it correctly. Okay? Valerie? Can I help you? Yeah. Oh, come on in. Just put it right up there. That's fine. Right up there? Yep, that'll work for me. Thank you. There you go, Mallory. You're Ezra? Is that right? Yes. Okay, just have a seat, Ezra. Oh, and then you may go back and pick your things up out of the compartment back there. Yeah. Jonathan. Zachary? Where's Zachary? Oh, well, Zachary? I don't know everybody yet. Believe it or not. Believe it or not, buddy. Lane. Lane's over that way somewhere, right? You're Lane. Thank you. Piper. Where's Piper? Right there. Okay. Peyton. Audra. And Ava. Thank you. All right. All right. So don't lose those because you want to make sure that you have those. So everybody's got their pile of stuff on their cubby, is that right? All right. Let's do mass down. I think I'm done passing stuff. All right. So that's done. All right, let's start digging through that pile of stuff. Let's go with that green sheet first. That bright line green sheet. Yes. Oh, yeah. Mask up. We got people running around the room. Sorry. Anybody else need to run through their cubbies? Oh, don't worry about that. That's the only thing that will be fine for today. All right. No green sheet. This gives us an overview of expectations for the class and what we're going to be doing on a daily basis. When we actually do some of these things, I'll dive deeper into it because until you see it in front of you, it's not really going to make sense. Does that help you out a little bit? First off, we're going to provide lots of different ways that you can do math. It's not just going to be me lecturing at you and you taking notes. That's dull, boring. That's one way to get math, but that's not the only way. So we're going to do a lot of different things in here. We will have some routine to us so that you're not coming in here confused every day. Like, what on earth is that what I'm going to do today? I don't know what to expect. Because routine does help you learn, okay? And for some of you, that's the best way because you know what to expect, and that can help you, all right? But we'll also change some things up, all right? It's not just going to be Mrs. Allen writing notes, you take notes, and here's 20 problems to practice. That's dull and boring, all right? We'll do some hands-on things. We'll get in small groups as best we can with our little masks on and chit-chat about some things. We'll do some problem solving. We'll do some things where you're going to have to think and think hard because thinking helps you grow. You're going to do some things where it hurts to think, okay? I pointed out some of my little signs over here. We're going to draw pictures. We're going to show stuff. We're going to write sentences. Yep, that's math, folks. That is part of math. Okay, we do math writings in here. Okay, I know it's math. Math and writing go together. Okay, you might be confused. You might not be sure. That's okay, but you need to ask questions. And I really do want you to ask questions. It's okay if you don't know. Do I think I'm going to present fabulous lessons? What? Yeah, I think I can present fabulous lessons. You know.
Rosalind, please call extension 291.
But sometimes my fabulous lessons just don't ring a bell with you. Or maybe something I said, you know, I went on and you needed, you know, 2 more seconds to let it soak in, but I moved on. So you need to ask another question about it. You need to like, hey, Mrs. Allen, I need you to repeat that for me. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Maybe you weren't sure what I said. Okay? And the beauty of what we have this year is the lessons are recorded. So you can go back and relook at the lesson. Okay? We've not had that option before. All right? So If that's an option this year for you, you might want to use that. Okay? The pink one over there, learn from your mistakes, miss some problems, and make silly errors. Oh my goodness, yes. That's going to happen. Okay? Learning from your mistakes is huge. All right? So what if you went that way and you figured out, ooh, that was the wrong path to take. That I won't do again because I learned that was not the right way to do it. Okay? So you're going to make silly mistakes. I know that. You're not going to get one chance to prove to me that you know what 2 plus 3 is in here. Okay? You'll have lots of opportunities. Sometimes you'll tell me 2 plus 3 is 4. Well, I know you guys know that 2 plus 3 is 5. Okay? If you want to take your mask off, you're welcome to. Okay, when I have mine off, you can have yours off. Okay, you missed that part earlier on. Okay. So it's not a one chance deal in here to prove your math. Does that make sense? And you're going to make silly mistakes sometimes. But you've got the opportunity to fix that kind of stuff. You've got the opportunity to prove that you know your math many different ways. Okay? The blue one, how does that work? Why does it work that way? We're going to be doing a lot of things together to prove it. You're going to have to think. Tell me why you're thinking the way you're thinking. I'm going to ask a lot of times, oh, why do you think that? Are you sure about that? If I ask you, are you sure about that, does that mean you're wrong? Nope. It just means I want to know, why are you thinking that way? Come on, spit it out. Prove that you're really sure. You know? Give us your reasoning behind that. Okay? Is there only one way to prove math? No. Are there times in our assignments I'm going to insist you prove it the way that we practice in class? Yes. And here's why. If you only practice one way, that may not always be the best way. So I'm going to show you like maybe 3 ways to prove how to get an answer of 5. I want to make sure that you can do all 3 ways. If I only showed you how to get the answer of 5 by adding 2 and 3, is that always going to be helpful in your lifetime? No. There are lots of ways to get an answer of 5. So I'm going to show you different ways to get an answer of 5, let's say. All right? So when we work on things, when we do our practice and our assignments, I might be working on one method, and I want you to practice that method and prove to me you can use that method. Does that make sense? But then there will be times when I throw you a problem and show me how you get your answer. And I may not care how you get there. You just got to prove how you get there. And it's that proving how you get there that's going to be important. Okay? Some of your parents will get a little ticked off over, well, I know how to get the answer. Why does she care how you get there? Or why is she worried about that? Well, it's important that you be able to prove how you get there. Okay? So that's something that we will work hard on this year. All right. Now, one thing I underlined in that first paragraph there is that you need to take ownership of your own learning. You need to own it. Well, what does that mean to own your own learning? What are some things you can do? Looking right there, what did she do? What did she do? Huh? Come prepared to class. What else did you just do? You did what? She raised her hand. She's participating. She's owning it. She's going to join in. Yeah. Ezra.
I want to join in.
You want to join in. You're going to raise your hand. You're going to participate. You're going to own your own learning. Okay? That's part of taking ownership in it. So you can come prepared to class. Okay? You're going to use your time wisely in here. I'll give study time in here. What you do with your study time, you'll be able to get your work done if you actually use it. If it takes you 5 minutes to get a pencil out, are you using your time wisely? No. Okay? I'll give study time, and if you use your time wisely, usually you can get your stuff pretty well done. Okay? Do I know some of you can work faster at math than others? Oh yeah, I know that. Okay? But for the most part, if you use your time wisely, ask those questions that you need to ask, then you'll be able to get a lot of your work done here in class, okay? But if you piddle around, need to take 5 minutes to get a pencil out, blah, 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 you know, have to look at the clock 20 times, have to see what the weather's doing out there, you probably won't get your work done, okay? If you tell me it takes you an hour at night to do your math work, I find that hard to believe. I don't ever intend to give you enough math work that it takes you an hour every night to do your math work. My guess is you've gotten up and gone to the bathroom at least 3 times. You've checked out how much TV time you can do, what's on the TV, what's for supper, what are my brothers and sisters doing, what can I do tomorrow, Mom and Dad, what, you know, you've done 20 other things besides just really concentrate on your math work, okay? So the same goes in here. If you own it, you get it done, you probably don't have to take it home. Does that make sense? And then those cubbies back there, you won't be carrying your junk home in your bag. Does that make sense? Okay? Yeah, can I guarantee that every night? No. But we'll work on that, okay? Make sure you take notes in class, ask those questions, you know, keep on task, okay? All those are important things when you own it. Google Calendar, I will do my best to keep that up to date, so if you need to know what the assignment is, you can check there. We talked about the virtual classroom yesterday, right, in here? So you know where to find things, one-stop shop, right? You bookmarked it, everybody bookmarked it, right? Okay? Yes? No? Did you? You know to do that though, right? Okay, if you need help with it, make sure you let me know, all right? Now, how do we actually spend our class time? Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Those 4 days, we typically come in and you would open up your Chromebook and you would do what's called a Math Minute. Math Minute is sent to you through Google Classroom. It's typically 10 questions. I might add a few more questions up here on the board for you to do that I think we need to spend some review things on. They're like review questions. So you would come in, that's how you would start your day. We would go over those answers. And that white sheet in your packet that looks like this, then you would record your score on. This is just a running total of your scores for that. So if we ever want to look at, hey, how are you really doing with review stuff, we can take a look at it. Okay? Then we typically have, like, go over maybe the previous day's assignment, have direct instruction from me, do some practice problems. That might include some hands-on things. It might include small group things. We might do some activities on our computer, enrichment activities. You'll have study time. You might have time to do what's called daily word test tutor. I think you did some of that in 4th grade, maybe. But we do have study time in here to get your work done. Again, depending on your work habits, might determine how much you get done. Okay? Tuesdays, though. Tuesdays are different. Tuesdays, that's it right there. That white one. Tuesdays, we have an assessment every Tuesday in here. I don't have to announce, hey, quiz test is coming up. It's every Tuesday, folks. Every Tuesday. Every Tuesday. Okay? It's over the previous week's material and anything before that. There are no trick questions on there. I don't go, oh, Ezra, I hope I can check him up this week by putting this question on there. Finley, boy, I hope she doesn't get this one right. Oh, let's see, Maya this week. Boy, I hope Maya doesn't get this one right. No, I don't do stuff like that. What I'm hoping for is we have been prepared enough that we can all get them correct. Does that make sense? Okay? So, we would be doing that every Tuesday. Okay? Every Tuesday. Will we do it next Tuesday? Probably not, because we won't have any material to test. You know what I'm saying? We have something to test. All right? But it's over the previous week's material. So with that, Yep, I'm supposedly recording. I don't have any virtual students in, but I'm supposedly recording. Okay. With that in mind, though, you should know that every Tuesday we are having a test, right? Now, will you know what's on that test? Yes, I'm not going to leave that as a big question. We'll always be prepared for what's on that test, okay? But it shouldn't be a surprise to you, all right? By the way, do you guys all know it's Mr. Baldwin in the plan? Okay. You all know that, right? Okay, all right, good.
I'm much more handsome behind the mask.
So he says. So he says. All right. The other thing we'll be doing on Tuesday is problem solving. And problem solving, I'll lead you through one, and then you'll have the opportunity to prove your wisdom on one or two others on your own. Okay? Typically, I will give that on Tuesday, and it will be due on Friday. So you'll have several days to work on it on your own. Okay? And we'll also do the infamous math writings Tuesday and due on Friday. We do one together in class, and that's not due until Friday. Okay? So that's our Tuesday. And we're pretty religious on that's what we do on Tuesday. Tuesday, that's what we do. It's cut and dry. That's what we do. Okay? So, that's our Tuesdays. All right? If you had a sibling in my class in previous years, they're going, that's what we do on Wednesdays. Now, we got moved to Tuesdays. Okay? Because we have had other things pop up in our schedule that started interrupting our timing. So if anybody says, no, that's a Wednesday thing, it got moved to Tuesday, okay? So don't let anybody tell you, no, it's Wednesday. It is now Tuesday, okay? All right? Okay. Your grade is based on total points earned through the 9 weeks. Our classroom folders, which are red, I will keep things marked on there for you. We always leave those in class. Okay? Chromebooks are used all the time, so make sure that you have those charged every day. Classroom rules. Respect each other and everything. That covers the whole gamut, folks, the whole gamut. If you can't follow that, then you and I will have a little chit-chat. If we have to have a bigger chit-chat, the consequences get bigger. See that door over there? If you're interrupting the education of others, there's your opportunity to walk out. And you now have that little chit-chat in the hall. And if you want to come back in and get an education, you're welcome back in. Right? But you are not here to bother the education of others, are you? Do I need to say more? I don't think I need to say more, do I? Yeah, I don't think so. Because we're all here to get along, right? We're going to respect the rights of others, blah, 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 blah. You're in 5th grade. You know how to behave in school, right? Do I need to say more? Oh, I don't think so. So, respect. That's what we got to follow, right? Good enough. End of story. I don't think we'll have trouble, will we? Nah. All right. So, any questions? Now, let's say you get home and you are having trouble in homework. First thing I would say is get on that virtual classroom and look at the lesson again. We have that opportunity this year that we've never had before. Okay, that would be one option. If you're still stuck, you looked at my fabulous lesson again and you're still stuck. You know, I don't know what's wrong with you, but you know, my fabulous lesson just didn't make sense again. All right? So you could call me. My number's down there. I ask that you call me before 9 p.m. If by chance I'm not home, because I do have another life, all right? I might be, you know, I don't know. I don't know. I might be playing with a grandchild somewhere. I don't know. Okay? Leave your name, number, clearly. Don't mumble into the phone. Name, number, and how late I can call you. And I will call you back if I get home soon enough, okay? All right? Does that make sense? All right. Questions? Yes. And your name's Ezra. That is your Chromebook login, all information. for like Power School and all that, isn't it? Yeah. Put it in your homework folder. Okay? You missed that. Sorry. All right. So let's take a quick look at the other papers that you have there. We've talked about the minute journal. Put that off to the side for now. Oh, wait. Put the green paper in your homework folder. Take it home and show it to your parents, please. The next papers we can find all of them in our virtual classroom as well. I don't need you to open up your virtual classroom right now. But you remember that math resource that I showed you yesterday? All of these colored papers you can find in here as well, okay? Does that make sense? So, these will all be in your math binder. We'll do the math binder in a minute, but these are all available here. But some people prefer paper copies, so we have provided paper copies as well. Does that make sense? Okay. Questions? All right. So, the green one has all sorts of tables on there with math information. And if you turn it over, there's all kinds of math words back there. Got formulas on the bottom. Okay. The pink one has a hundredths chart and a nice big multiplication table. Purple one, another multiplication chart. Other little tables there for you with math information and additional math information on the back. And then you have, it's an old iStep, when we used to take the iStep, a reference sheet, but we felt like it was a good resource page for you as well, even though it does say iStep on it, so it has a lot of good information on it. Now, I am going to show you the interactive hundredths chart. You don't need to open it up. I'll just open it up here for you to show it to you. The interactive hundredths chart that's available to you on your resource page, you can do things like if I said color all the even numbers orange, you can, click on those. Does that make sense? That was something Paulette and I found this year that we thought was maybe a nice little option for us. The interactive multiplication table, we thought it might be a useful tool for some of you. If you look, it shows how to actually use the multiplication table and put the problem down here. Okay? That makes sense? Okay? Now, the expectation is you know your multiplication tables. Am I clear on that? If you are still stuck, though, on some of those, you might want to practice that in your own time to just, get yourself back up to where the expectation is. Does that make sense? Yes, no? Okay. Okay. So, as we think through some of our stuff this year, and the fact you have to carry backpacks back and forth, we have a math binder, and we're going to go to it next. So pull out your binder that you brought for math. And you should have some dividers, right? And there should be some tabs in there that you brought for it. Huh? Oh. So, does anyone need tabs? Let me go see if I got some tabs. I used to have a bunch of them. Hand up if you need tabs. And they're asking tabs. So you have them right there. You don't have dividers? Are you going to get some? Okay. So I'll give you tabs you can label so you know what you've done. Who else has the same label? Huh? Okay. Anybody else? You have your hand up? All right. So I'll tell you what to put on the tabs. Yes. You do, don't you? Oh, that's the. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, that was your. Oh, that was your bag. Huh? You need some? So you don't have dividers either, or you do? You have dividers? Okay. All right. Oh, wait. Yours are going to be kind you're going to write on. So you don't need tabs. Are yours the write-on kind? Okay, then you don't need tabs. Okay? That's like hers, too. All right. Okay. So the purpose of our binders is to keep you organized. So as we have papers, now this year, because we're trying to eliminate some papers, we may not have as many papers to put in there as in the past. We're just not sure how this is going to fly. Does that make sense? So my apologies for anything that doesn't fly like what we think it's going to fly, because it's all new. You know what I'm saying? So here is the plan, though. We're going to label our tabs, and then we're hoping to use our binders accordingly. But if for whatever reason we end up sending you some of this stuff digitally, it won't end up in your binder. Does that make sense? Okay. Yes. You have a question? I can't hear you. So here is the order in which we we want to label our tabs. The first tab is going to be resources. And our resources, behind that divider, you don't have to have it on. Yeah, you don't have to put it on. Okay. It's going to be all those colored papers we just talked about. Does that make sense? Okay. And then your second one is going to be your Math Minute log, which is, where did that paper go? Which is going to be this paper. This one. It's going to go behind that tab. Does that make sense? Okay. Do you have tabs? Okay, you need to write them on your tabs. What? What? You have tabs. Okay, that was why I said if you don't have tabs, I need to know. And I'll give you tabs. So here we go. Did you look for them in your bag? Did you look for them in your bag? Or do you need tabs? Okay, there you go. That's why I did. Show me the hands and I'll get you some tabs. All right, here we go. So the third one will be your assessments. So when I hand those back, that's where those can go. Are you writing these down on your tabs? You what? Okay, but you can have tabs and you can be writing down tabs. Okay, let me ask this one more time. Is there anybody that has tabs that they can write stuff down on? Woohoo! You got it? Okay. You only need one step. Anybody else? Last call for tabs. Anybody? Anybody? Not able to write these on tabs? All right. Okay. The fourth one. We'll be doing what is called a test tutor 1 week and a daily word the next week. So they can go behind the same divider. You can abbreviate these things if you need to. And then I don't care, just so you know where they go. We will be doing math writings. Problem solving, that's at Tuesday. We might be doing some notes outside of our books. So we need a place to put those so it's organized. And then in our last tab, we're just going to have lined paper that hopefully you brought with you. So that whenever we need lined paper, we know exactly where it is. We're not fumbling around looking for it. Okay? Okay? So we'll put it behind our last tab. So we know exactly where it is, and we can always go grab it from there. Okay? Now, gently tear your tabs and get them in this order. This would be at the beginning. Get them in this order. And you would have something to put behind your resources, your math log, and your lined paper. Right? Are you going to be able to get what I did? Yeah. Yeah, because it's going to be 1 week you get one week you get the other. So you can, there's no reason to have separate. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
I put that in upside down. What's the favorite paper? This is how one figured out how one I know.
No, it's right in here. You don't have to write it. Huh? So that's when you agree with her? Writer? Can't get two writers? Okay, so we need all of them. We need all eight of them. No. Put it behind it. Put it behind the tab. What would you do? Put it back on. That's fine. That's fine. You just put it back on. That's fine. You know, you just have to add to it if you want. There's no magical number to how much lunch we're eating. If we don't use it every day, this will be 12. That goes under math, minute long. Okay, so resources would include everything except, let me have that paper. Everything except this one, right? Because this is that math minute log. Okay, so that goes under your second tab. You put the papers behind the tab, not in front of it, but behind it. Okay? So it goes you put it in the binder. No, you put it in the 3 rings. See the holes? You put it in the 3 rings. Perfect. Okay? So that one goes behind the first one. It's a resource. So you put it in the 3 rings. You open up the 3 rings. You see the holes in the paper? You put it in the 3 rings and slam those 3 rings shut again. Because we don't want to pull it out. Okay, it goes out of there, buddy. Look, honey. In the ring. Yes, ma'am. You got black things on? Stop it. There you go. That's okay. Now, where's all your tabs? They go in here, honey. Yep, that's where they go. In the resource. Behind it. Open it up, look. Look. This is the resource. Look that. That. Okay? There you go. Yes, ma'am. There you go. No, these are all resources. Okay. Oh, that was your second one. Okay. These are all resources. Go behind your first tab. That will be What's that? Turn around so that you're at the beginning of your notebook. I don't know you know. This is front. Where's the resources tab? Okay. All right, behind it. You want all these papers. Where's your basket? There, put that in there. Go right here. Yeah. Oh, yours are right on. That's why. Yours are right on. Yeah. I didn't know yours were right on. Oh, you found them. So yours are right on. So you write those on yours in the correct order. Right there, there's the order. So right on. You don't need one. I'll take these back, all right?
Good job, Michael. Dad, what's the
All right, oh my, why are your resource papers still out, sir? Let's get them put away, please, please, please. Let me help you with that, Ezra. Let's get those babies under control.
I have so broken my shoes.
Yep. No. That's the that.
What have I done?
That's behind your list down.
There we go.
That's behind your list. Okay? That's all right. All right. We all said, oh my. Oh, you don't have one for that. Okay. Okay. All right, so you're getting one? Okay. Can you take those home and get it organized tonight? You know what you need to do? Okay, perfect. Let's put them in here then. In the pocket. Pull out. You have your tabs? Slide those in there. Here's your tab. Perfect. You know how to do it, right? Perfect. Thank you. Anybody else? I need to help or oh my goodness. Oh. Yep. All right. So let's do this for you. Right down one. Yes. And you still have all those passing notes, right? Okay, you can do that right now while I talk about everything. Yeah. So we're all good? Lady, gentlemen over here, are we good? You're not?
Yeah.
You both need help? Okay, let's put these behind you.
I'm perfect. My desk is
Where's your math notebook? Put it behind the desk. There we go. You're good? Over here, are we good? What's up? You what? Okay, so I'm going to give you a paper clip. All those things put together. All right? And I hope you don't lose it, please. Are you getting a binder tonight by chance, sir? Huh? All right. There you go. Okay? We don't have your papers in there. Come on. That's it. Okay? There. I will not be able to. All right. Okay. Oh my. What is this one still doing? I'll get that in your resource section, will you?
Oh, that was in the
Okay, there should have been some trash because someone you opened up and hand out if you saw trash. If you saw trash, put your mask up and get it to the trash, please. It's right here. Or it's right over there if you want that after. Okay. Woo! That was terribly exhausting, wasn't it? All right. Okay, we can check that off our list. All right. Next thing I want to explain to you are what are called our process standards. Okay? We have our standards such as we have to teach like fractions, number sense, algebra, we've got all that stuff. So our main, I'm going to take that off for a minute. Our main standards are number sense, algebraic thinking, over here, measurement, data analysis and statistics and computation. So within each of those, it talks about all the very specific things that we do within each of those. All right? And those are what you guys would consider to be our everyday grind of like add, subtract, fraction, our decimal work, those kinds of things. Okay? All right. Oh, oops, I just noticed something. This little line here is getting a little crooked, and we may not be 3 feet like we're supposed to. Peyton, can I get you, like lined up a little bit? I would say some 3 foot person measure might come in. There we go. Thank you. All right. So, but we also have what are called our process standards, and in those, we just work on those every single day. I throw them in. You may not even realize that's what they're called. Some of these process standards, though, drive some people crazy, literally crazy, because why are math teachers doing this stuff, okay? But they're very important. They're what I just kind of work them in automatically. There's part of my thinking of how I think you should be working at your thinking. They're what make you think outside of just math. They are what make you think outside of just memorizing. And there is the big part of what older people have trouble with, saying it's new math. I don't understand this new math stuff. And I've got people that say that to me. Well, that's new math. I just don't get what these teachers are doing, this new math teaching, And it's like, well, instead of just teaching, just memorizing facts, we're trying to help people understand and think through. And we're not just memorizing 2 + 2 is 4. Okay? Because when a lot of those people who are saying things like that went to school, they memorized everything. And just memorized, for memorized sake. And then we went on to the next chapter. And the next chapter, they memorized all these rules. And then the next chapter, they memorized all these rules. And let's say they memorized the rule for fractions. Guess what? They didn't remember those rules for fractions probably, because the next chapter they memorized rules for something else. And then they didn't remember those rules for fractions until next year in 6th grade, chapter 3 with fractions again. And oh, we got to memorize those rules for fractions again. And then the hope was some of those rules stuck. Well, guess what? Most of those rules didn't stick, because when did they see them again? When they were in 7th grade, and in chapter 3, oh, here came those fractions again. And if you hated fractions, you could hardly wait till chapter 3 fractions ended. And you wouldn't have to see it again until 8th grade chapter 3, So literally that's what people were doing, all right? Well, that wasn't really helping you learn math, right? Because it was, you hoped it went away, and you only had to memorize it for a little bit. So mathematicians started going, that's really not helping people understand fractions, number one. And number two, it wasn't really helping them remember how to do fractions. So the thinking started changing about how we were helping you learn about fractions and actually remember about fractions. So it became more about your understanding of why fractions work together, how fractions work together. It's not just fractions, but everything. I'm just using fractions as an example. So instead of just memorizing, we use what are called the process standards. So I'm going to walk that way. I'm going to throw my mask on. I'll go quick. Don't worry about it. Okay, here we go. So if you look back here, we'll be doing things like constructing a viable argument, okay? And by that, we're not going to sit around and argue with each other, but we're going to be able to, how did you come up with your answer? Can you explain your solution? Can you show us how you got your answer and explain why you use those numbers? Okay? So it's not just a matter of, I got sick. Well, how did you get sick? Why did you get sick? What did you do to get sick? Okay? Modeling with mathematics. So there are lots of ways to show how you do that. Did you write an equation? Did you draw a picture? Did you, what all did you do to model mathematically how you came up with your answer? Okay? Reason abstractly and with quantitatively. That means numbers and symbols. Okay? How did you do it? What kind of properties did you use? All right? Look for and express, regulate, and repeated reasoning. Okay? Can you notice that patterns repeat themselves? There's lots of places mathematically that things repeat. So you look for a lot of patterns. And a lot of times in math, that's one of the first things that I look for. Is there, if you're given a bunch of numbers, is there a pattern here? Do I see the same thing happening over and over again? Okay? And once I can eliminate that, then I have to start thinking maybe in a different manner. But a lot of times that's one of the first things I look for if I'm given a long series of numbers. Is there something repeating? Okay? Critique the reasoning of others. I'm going to ask you to do that this year. How many of you agree with so-and-so? And why do you agree with them? Why do you disagree with this person? Look at how they solved this. How many of you agree with example A? How many of you agree with example B? Why do you disagree with A? Why do you disagree with B? Okay? But you have to have something to back it up with. I don't agree with them because they're my friend. I could care less if they're your friend mathematically. That doesn't mean they have good math reasoning behind it. Okay? It's not because they're your friend. We want to know mathematically why you agree or disagree. Okay? Look for and make use of structure. All right? How are you setting it up? Okay? What kinds of things can we see mathematically there? Over here, make sense of problems. Okay? That's one thing some of you have a bad use of. You get an answer, and if you look back and see if it made sense, it makes no sense at all. You start out with 12 birthday cakes, you ate some of them, and you come up with 36 birthday cakes were left. Does that even make sense? No, but that's some of the answers you guys have come up with because you did something with your numbers. And you're happy you did something with your numbers. So that's the answer you put down your piece of paper. You never go back and see if it makes sense. Okay? Because, woo, you're happy you have an answer on paper. I'm going to have my paper in, So you need to always go back and see if your answer makes sense. Okay? You also need to check and see what in this problem do I need or not need, Because a lot of times when you go to McDonald's, how many of you have ever been to McDonald's? Oh, I think almost everybody has. Some of you haven't been to McDonald's?
I literally have.
Oh, okay, get your hand up there, buddy. All right. See, that is McDonald's. Do you walk in and only see one item that you can choose at McDonald's? Okay, there's lots of things to choose, but you have to narrow it down. Do you have to narrow it down to only the kids menu? Do your parents let you choose whatever you want? So there's lots of things there to choose from, right? Okay? So sometimes you have to separate out, get rid of things that don't make sense in the problem, all right? So when I go in there, I don't get to choose from the kids menu. Are you kidding me? I don't get to choose from the kids menu. Can you believe that? So when I don't get to choose from the kids menu, I X that out. I don't even look over there, okay? So sometimes in problems that we hand you on paper, you're going to cross out. This doesn't even make sense to use this. It has nothing to do with the question. Okay, so you got to make sense of what's going on there. Persevere in solving them. Persevering, what does that mean? What does that mean? Persevere. Anybody know what that means? Are you Ezra? What does that mean?
I feel like I think I know what it is, but I think it's you kind of figure out the answer and ways what you cross out one.
Not exactly, not exactly. When I persevere in something, I keep trying and keep trying and keep trying. Some of you, I'm going to use McDonald's again. I'm not really a fan of McDonald's all the time, okay? I just using it because all of you know what McDonald's is, all right? When you go to McDonald's, you expect your food fast, right? Okay, McDonald's, drive up fast, get your food, get out of there, right? Okay? Math is not always that way. Persevering means it may take you a while. You may start out down this path and find out, ooh, that is not the way to solve it. Back it up, try another path. Persevere, keep working at it. You may not get there quick. It's not a McDonald's drive up. Okay? You may have to work at it a while. You may try, and try. And then you got to try, and try again. And then you got to try, and try again. Okay? So that's persevering. All right? Use appropriate tools and strategically. So if you're going to measure an angle, you don't get out a ruler. Okay? So what tools are you going to use? All right? Attention precision. Ooh, my. Make sure that you know how precise you need to be. That doesn't mean I'm talking you always have to get out a ruler on that. Make sure that you're answering the question that needs to be answered. Have you labeled it? Are you communicating appropriately? Are you being precise with your answer? Have you answered the question that's being asked? Because maybe you need to do 2 or 3 steps to get there. Don't be satisfied with, I got a number, I'm done. Go back and see if you answered the question that's being asked. Okay? So those are our process standards. I recommend automatically. It's not like we take a day out, oh, we're doing process standard number such and such. These are woven in all the time. Okay? Well, the ones up here that I mentioned, they are numbered, and those are numbered at some point in time in our standards. That these are very specific numbers that we say, like we could say today we are working on standard 5 da 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 da, and it's very specific. We will be adding fractions with common denominators. Those are more. Oh, it's messed up. Those are more woven in all of these kind of standards. Does that make sense? Okay? All right. So those are more process, like how we attack these kinds of things. Does that make sense? Okay? So those are more deeper thinking type things, how we're going to attack this kind of stuff. All right? Questions? Anybody? Lots of info today, right? Yes, ma'am. You are Piper?
Yeah. So when we're on text, will they be covered up or not covered up?
That stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, that has nothing to do with a test. Okay? That is how we approach problems. See what I'm saying? Okay? So those are not like question number 1. Da, 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 da. Okay? That is kind of how we approach problems. Okay? And that's why those are kind of separate from these because those are how we're going to approach these kinds of things. Okay? Good question. Anything else? Anybody? Okay. You're Mallory, right? Would you turn around and look at the top on your schedule and tell me what time this class ends? What I thought. Okay. We've got about 4 more minutes. Okay? We've covered a lot. Okay? Tomorrow, we've got a lot more to cover. Anybody have any burning? Anybody have any burning questions? We'll breathe on you. Any burning questions for me? I've done a lot of yapping today. Yes, Ezra, right?
So, you know how I came in late? So, and you have no idea what's happening, but it came out late? That's a mistake.
Put your mask down, will you?
So that, if I came in late, would that be a mistake? And I'll learn from it?
Yeah, it's better that you're here on time because you do miss some stuff, you know, but it's not the end of the world either.
Yeah.
You know? Because I can't stop like the whole class and come back and try to catch you up because it's unfair to their class time too. But you do want to try to be on time, you're right. But there's times that's unavoidable too. You know, sometimes you have dentist appointments, doctor's appointments, that kind of stuff. You know? Yeah, good point, Ezra. Okay. I will be working on trying to learn your names as fast as I can. It does help that they are attached on the front of your desk, but I have lots of things spinning in my head, and memorizing your names is like, add that to my list, you know? And quite honestly, I'm not really good at memorizing names anyway, so just throw that out there too. Little tidbit of information. In all of this corona, stay safe, mask up, be careful about your health. Aside from corona, Mrs. Allen sneezes 12 to 20 times when she starts sneezing. That is normal for me. Okay? Don't panic. Okay? That is normal. It became a joke in this hall. I said, oh dear, people are going to panic when I start sneezing. I sneeze 12 to 20 times, people, when I start sneezing. I don't know what makes me start sneezing. I can't stop it. I've tried numerous things to stop it. I do, okay? So don't panic if I start sneezing 12 to 20 times, run home and tell your parents there's something wrong with Mrs. Allen. There's nothing wrong with me other than it's crazy that I sneeze that many times. The other thing I do, when I cough, it sounds more like a deep bark than a cough. There's nothing ladylike about my cough. Never has been. When I was in 2nd grade, the teacher wanted my mother to take me out of school because my cough was so deep and barky. It was awful. Okay? I cough deep. There's nothing wrong with me other than I just have a deep, horrible cough. Okay? So please, again, don't report me as there's something wrong with Mrs. Allen. There's just, I have a deep, barky cough. It's normal for me, okay? So please don't report me that there's something wrong, all right? No panic over it. It's a horrible, nasty cough. Nothing ladylike about it, okay? Nothing I can do about it. It's where I was born, people, okay? A deep, barky cough, all right? So, just for all of you that panic over the health issues now, don't report me. There's nothing to report, okay? Yes, you are. Adam.
My also had allergies.
Yes? Okay. Let me just say this. I'm going to assume, and I do have to report if I'm suspicious and send you down, blah, blah, blah. Please, 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 don't come to school when you're sick. You know, I don't want to be the one that has to send you out, but I will send you out if I'm suspect of you being sick. You know what I'm saying? Please be aware of your own health and don't bring it to school. Okay? I won't do that to you, you don't do it to me. Okay? And when it turns cold, Mrs. Allen's nose runs all the time. There you go. It just does. I've been like an old lady carrying around Kleenex all my life because when it gets cold, my nose runs. There you go. Okay? So it's just normal for me. All right. We had a great class today as far as I can tell. I need to be able to dismiss you. I do not see any reason for you to lug around all that math stuff, your math binder, your math book, any of that needs to go home today because there's nothing in there for you to do today. So when I dismiss you, you're going to put that stuff in your little cubby. You're going to line up out in the hall like you did so well yesterday. I'll dismiss you to the bathroom, etc., etc.